Still one of the biggest crimes that I've seen ever in my life, with them not even getting it nominated for soundtrack of the year at the Game Awards. Fucking ridiculous. But we all know the Game Awards is a joke anyway.
Yeah.
We're there to see people's life threatened by strange people showing up on stage now.
Have you seen have you seen the Starfield stuff going on?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Starfield came out.
Optimum Prime. Sorry.
He's Optimum Prime.
Anyway.
We bust out the same jokes every time. So the Starfield finally launched.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of discourse. And one of the things I find hilarious are Sony fans completely trying to downplay the game. Like entirely.
Yeah.
Like, the game got an 84 on Metacritic right now, and they're like,
84 is good.
Yeah. Like, Horizon Forbidden West got an 88, so it's the better RPG. And I'm like, Horizon Forbidden West is an action-adventure game with RPG elements.
Yeah. It's not really an RPG.
But their response is, Sony calls it an action RPG, so it's the same thing. It's like, it's not, though. It's not. And a bunch of fanboys, like the Saltiest Gaming and King Thrash, Red Dragon, a lot of these big name fanboys who, like, their whole brand is PlayStation.
Yeah.
And being PlayStation fanboys, they're just going off the rails. Like literally, I think they've all collectively posted like thousands of tweets in the week that the game's been out about the game.
Jesus Christ!
Like, they're not doing anything, bro.
Yeah.
they're like, oh, Xbox, this game's bad. They'll never be as good as PlayStation. Like, if PlayStation games are so much better, go fucking play your games.
Yeah. I don't know.
Instead
that's
of being
so
on
weird,
fucking Twitter, bro.
I've heard pretty great things about Starfield.
I've heard
for the most part.
a lot.
There was like one person in particular that had a weird fucking. He was mad that like they have options for pronouns in the game.
Yeah, no, I heard about that. Dude.
And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, he threw a big man baby fit.
I was like, what does that even matter, bro?
Yeah, it's not
just
even
don't
like,
use those options.
Well, it's not even something that's intrusive. Like, it is a one piece of a menu that pops up at the end of character creation. Like, it is not in your face at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was a weird fucking fit to have.
I don't know.
I've heard a lot of different things about the game. I've heard a lot of people personally that enjoy it, but I've also heard some of the technical issues.
Yeah.
Like the cities being really, really heavy on PC.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the game isn't optimized for lower-end PCs. It is very much optimized for newer hardware. So,
yeah, like, you gotta imagine it's a new release, fucking huge and ambitious in design.
I mean, my PC, I'm afraid to run it when I get to those bigger cities because I don't want my PC to just ignite. That's that's some of the stuff, like the performance hurdles I've heard. Like, I'm talking like max end specs getting hit from like 100 FPS or 70 FPS on average to like hitting 30s to 20s.
Ooh.
Like, it's a massive drop in the cities. And my PC running it, just the opening was at 100% already on low. Like, auto low.
Oh, no.
So, like, I can only imagine getting to certain heavier parts of the game, my computer just dying because it can't run it.
Yeah.
So, I was like, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to wait until I can upgrade.
That's a fucking issue.
Well, I mean, she's an older PC. When I bought her, she was kind of mid-high range, and 4 years later, she's definitely hitting the lower end now. So,
even still though, it's, I mean, so like, is this gonna be a problem with PCs though? You know what I mean?
It's a situation where games aren't being optimized like they should be.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it is, because the tools to make these games the tools to make these games are only getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it taking more and more resources to do more with games in PC?
Yeah.
Even in console, a lot of console games are having to be hindered because they're too demanding, and a lot of that I think comes down to optimization. Like, I mean, like, there's no reason a game can't be worked on to flow better, and that could be a combination of how the industry works, hiring mostly contract workers who are there for one project and leave.
Yeah.
When the main body is a smaller team, or having, such tight work windows that like things get thrown to the wayside because they're having to rush and focus on getting things pushed rather than actually worked on properly. Stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it that I think a lot of people don't even consider. And part of it lies, on multi-million-dollar corporations who like, they're in it for profit. They're not there to make a good product,
Yeah, essentially.
Versus like like versus indie games, no matter how big the indie game is, whatever platform it comes out on, it more often than not runs flawlessly.
Yeah. Well, because again, indie games got to rely on their games actually being fucking good. It's just.
And
it's probably exactly that. It's just like, they're just kind of reaching for, let's get it out, let's get it pushed out, let's get it kind of, kind of good, but, the people are going to buy it anyway, so we can always come back, patch it out later, all this other type of stuff, and continue to work on it behind the scenes, but it's just still entirely a shitty business practice, and in all these, honestly, I just feel like there's nothing wrong with like wanting to make something look good and all that shit.
Yeah.
But when looks overtake performance, I feel is when, you're kind of having an issue in your vision. Because you can't pull it all together. Like, what's the point in trying to push this out a certain way and run a certain way when the majority of your customers won't even be able to fucking play it that way?
Yeah, well, like...
You know what I mean?
That's another thing I don't know if you know about fanboy wars or whatever.
Yeah, I know too much, in my opinion.
So, a big thing is, like, everybody's saying the Xbox Series S is holding back the industry. When, like, if I remember correctly, the only difference between the Xbox Series S and X is RAM allocation and, like, hard drive size. Outside of that, they're the same CPU, I'm pretty sure.
I believe so.
So, they have the same GPU and CPU. I think the only difference is just amount of RAM allocated. That's why they can't do 4K on the S, It's a weaker console marketed to people who don't have, a budget for the bigger console. It's also digital only, so they can cut back on a lot of things, like disk, drive, things like air correcting and all that. They can make more room for airflow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Outside of the big console. So it's a backwards ass concept, especially like, because what it is, it's a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about trying to say things that acting like they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, journalism here.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of
like it's just it's no longer the situation of like games being made to be good. They're just being made to be made to sell.
Yeah, I mean, it's a branding thing.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want a real example of games that could be made great while being on limited hardware, like Nintendo, the Switch the Switch is a fantastic example of it's really the developer, not the system, because the fact that Tears of the Kingdom looks and runs as good as it does on the Switch, I think should be a testament.
Yeah, it's a fucking miracle, honestly.
And my God, Mario Odyssey, like, I don't care what you say, that game looks fucking
Mario
phenomenal.
Odyssey is gorgeous.
No, there's a lot of there are a lot of people like, oh, it's not 4K though. It's not 4K. It looks ass because it's not. The pixels aren't like. You're a fucking brainlet because your brain can't process. It don't have big number. It don't have big number. It look like ass.
Your ass can't even see 4K half the goddamn time.
No, the human eye can't see past 2K. Like, literally, like, it's out of our optical receptive range. We literally can't see the actual point of 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2K is the most we can naturally see with detail. Because past 2K, looking for detail is nigh impossible.
Yeah.
That's scientifically. It's the same thing. Like, I think the human eye captures at 48 frames a second. Like, we can go 48 frames a second and be fine with that,
Yeah, around there. Oh, shoot.
The thing that like higher fidelity matters in, like higher frames and higher like pixel density is your subconscious. Because there's a whole like thing I could show you a whole study about it.
Yeah.
Basically, your subconscious is why frames matter, because subconsciously your body can make a choice or decision with less information than your reactive mind can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why higher frames you tend to do better, because your reaction time is heightened because you're getting more information at a time than what your conscious brain can process. Because that's the thing, like you have a subconscious and a conscious brain, and they both process information differently. You know?
Absolutely.
And that's where stuff like pixel density and and frame rates would apply because your brain is your brain can process a lot faster than what our conscious brain does.
Mm-hmm.
But like in terms of like conscious brain, where you're actively thinking and looking, you can't notice the difference between
really
2K and 4K.
But of course, because like you said, a big number go wow.
Well, yeah.
Even though I don't understand it entirely,
that's also like 8K
really just fools people.
8K is also just really kind of superfluous as well.
Yeah.
Even more so than 4K in the fact like I said, subconsciously your mind is processing a lot more information, so you're able to react better. And it's not so much the sharpness of the image; it's the fact that your brain can notice the image at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like your brain's pretty good at noticing pattern. And I think what should be the focus is making things easily recognizable at longer distances. Where I think stuff like 4K can be applicable.
Yeah.
So having like a dynamic ranged resolution where like certain things are lower resolution as you go out is where stuff like 4K will play power.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because the sharper your image is up close, you can lower the image on the background without taking too much away from the image, and bam, you've got more precise images in a far reach. You know what I mean?
And at that point, it's just a design decision to try to make that shit run well while also looking well.
Yeah, because there's so many ways to make things optimized, to load, process, all that stuff. Like there are ways to do it. Companies just don't want to.
Because it's more work.
More time in development, less profit to be made.
Yeah, it's God. Like game development is hard, but there's also still a way to very lazily go about it, and it becomes obvious, and it's happening more and more. People are noticing it more and more. We're getting angrier and angrier, but nothing's changing.
Well, it's because people are still buying.
People are still buying, like I said, people are still buying into it, and it's just like, there's got to be a point where you got to stop.
Yeah. You
got to stop to make a change, make it different, or else you're just going to constantly have your favorite games come out here, like shitty, running performance and unoptimized to all hell, lighting your PC like a bonfire. Like all this stuff is going to continue to happen.
Did you hear about Battlefield 2042? You know who the Russian Badger is?
Yeah.
His PC caught on fire playing the beta.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's wild.
And that's, that's just seriously a lack in, again, optimization.
Well, it was the beta. So the beta is a bit more understandable for not having optimization, but like...
Oh, no!
If the optimization being so bad that your PC catches on fire, I mean...
If anything, that makes it worse. It's a beta. Hear me out. Because the beta has less than what the actual full release will have. You know what I mean? And if your beta is doing this...
Yeah.
You might have to go back to the motherfucking drawing board. Because that's ridiculous.
I mean, 2042 nearly killed Battlefield as a series.
Yeah. But that's ridiculous.
No, yeah, I'm in agreement. I mean, my gripes will always be a situation of, the developers are like, 10% of the problem, and, 90% of the problem falls upon, the marketing team and the corporate side.
Sorry, this picture from JC currently. That's Zola's leg over her face, and one of the boys by her. I don't know where the other one is.
Oh my gosh.
You seem to be doing great.
I just genuinely I don't understand it because the other part, like we were saying, people still buy it. There are people that genuinely defend shit like that. Genuinely.
Because it's a brand!
It's like brand comfortability, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people who defended Forspoken. I'm sorry, if you defend Forspoken, you're literally brain dead. Because
there's a tons of people that defended Forspoken for several different reasons.
It's a bad game. Bad story, bad game, boring combat, boring exploration. It's just it's a nothing burger of a game, but because it's made by a high-profile company, people are like, oh, it's so good, there's so many things going on. Think of all the people who put work and effort in this game. Does it because... It's fuck you. Genuinely fuck you.
As a Square Enix fan, that wasn't too good, y'all.
I'm a Square Enix fan.
Yeah.
And I'm of the mind that, shit like the fucking Forspoken was awful. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm not a big fan of, but, I mean, we've had that conversation before.
Yeah. Yeah, we come to the conclusion he's nuts, but
it's not a remake; it's a sequel.
That's the point. Anyway,
no, it's not. If it's a sequel, don't call it a remake.
They're hitting you with the 1-2. The fresh combo.
It's Nomura. Nomura can't write stories for shit. That's what it is. This is coming from a Kingdom Hearts fan.
Yeah, I was about to say, coming from a Kingdom Hearts fan.
I played all the Kingdom Hearts. Nomura can't write for shit.
Yeah.
Look, man, I played it all. All right, I played every fucking Kingdom Hearts game. I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes
to
Nomura.
Sheeva, calm down. He just got his back.
Yeah, he just, like, that shit just got healed.
That'd have been hurting me. I'm sorry. That hurt to look at, bro.
I think he's still hurt. I don't think his back is healed. I think it's like halfway healed. Because Jay was like, don't interrupt him now. He's not healed.
What do you call a man with 75% of his spine? A quarterback.
No!
Let's go!
No! You can't. You can't.
I can. I can start the train right now. I can start the terrible dad jokes.
I have a big issue with games that waste my fucking time.
Yeah.
And everybody always asks me, like, what do you mean waste your time? And I've laid it out bare every single time, and people are just like, what do you mean? I don't get it. Like, if a game goes out of its way to make me have to do something pointless that doesn't, like, fulfill anything, like, that's what I mean.
So it's when you feel betrayed.
No. like The Last of Us.
Ooh, which one? You talking about the original release?
Yeah, the first game.
Second game? Or, no, wait.
The first
The
one.
original?
Yeah, the OG.
The remake of the OG?
Well,
or
the remake of the OG and the original.
The HD of the OG?
I don't know, man.
Or part 2?
Did they change anything in the remakes at all?
Or remake OG again?
Did they change anything in the re-releases of the game is what I'm asking.
Visuals?
Any story beats change?
Don't know. I don't care.
Okay. So my issue with games like The Last of Us is a large portion of it is just wandering with characters talking about things when 90% of that dialogue could be condensed into story cutscenes.
Yeah.
That are relevant to the characters. But no, they have to do this like stupid ass thing where like, oh, it's immersive. These are characters one. It's like, I don't play a video game to fucking watch a movie. To live life. Like I don't play video games to live my regular fucking life.
I suppose that's true, yeah. Like
I play games to fucking explore fantastical worlds that don't make fucking sense to my real life. And everyone's like, well, Fallout, Skyrim, fucking Call of Duty,
GTA.
Yeah, they're real life. It's like, motherfucker, have you played a game of GTA? Have you played a game of Call of Duty? None of that shit's realistic.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to. That is not realistic.
How can you call GTA real life when there's no children?
Well, not only that, but
anyway.
GTA also fucking has,
yeah,
like, you can get the most wild shit in the world in GTA, like flying cars. Like that shit's not real life. That shit's still fucking made up land.
You can drive down MLK Avenue and run down the entire crowd of people, get 2 stars, and go hide in an alley.
Yeah,
you know,
like, and fucking Call of Duty, like, oh, it's a milsim. It's like it's not a milsim. It's not a milsim because you don't have motherfucking soldiers running around 360 with a fucking 50 caliber sniper rifle.
No.
Like, it is fantasy. All of it is.
Call of Duty is extreme fantasy.
Fallout is fantasy because it's a world of the 1950s after a nuclear war.
Who argues Fallout is not fantasy?
Because it's got guns in its real life. Like, it's our timeline if we got nuked. It's like, there's still fucking fission engines and power armor suits and laser beams. It is science fantasy.
Yeah, that'd be like me arguing that Mario Kart is not fantasy because you drive.
Yeah,
like yo,
like it's people have to rationalize this shit so hard. I'm like, you're fucking dumb, dude.
Yeah.
Like I play a game to experience something that is not my real life. I don't want to play like nonsense. Like I don't want to have to like if I'm in an apocalypse, I'm gonna be walking. It's realistic to what I'd be doing in an apocalypse. On The Last of Us, but I don't want to play that. I want to play the cool fucking action scenes.
So how do you feel about Death Stranding?
It's bad. It's a bad video game.
It's bad.
Oh, this is your fight.
Oh, shit.
It's a bad video game, especially now, because the whole purpose of the game...
But I almost got my finger stuck in that toy. It popped out, though. It made like a little pop sound. Like that video of that like guy walking up behind that furry and he pulls out her butt plug.
What?
Like, there's a video of a guy,
I remember.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, furries. And then like he pulled out her tail.
And she like, turns around, she's like, give it back.
She's like, and he just Like, sniffs the
shit. I don't remember the sniff. I remember he pulls it out. And
he pulls it out and
walks away.
Sniffs it.
I remember her, like, looking back, like, please give it back. Please give it back.
No, he walks up to it, he's like, hey, and then, like, pulls it out and makes, like, a boop sound, and then, like, she turns around, like, give that back, give it back, and then he's go.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I don't remember the sniff.
Like, oh my God. This guy deserves to be in prison. He's a menace.
Don't remember the sniff.
Oh, the sniff it's intense.
But no, do you think people who wear butt plugs, like, if they take it out, they have to go shit immediately, or else it just kind of happens?
Bro, I know it happened to me. I usually have to go shit immediately anyway. Like, bro, I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, so you wear butt plugs? Is that what that was?
No. I was saying, in their shoes, yeah, you pull out my butt plug, I'm shitting the floor. Like, that's... if I were to wear a butt plug, that is. But no, I am saying I can't hold my shit regardless. Like, as soon as I feel that the brown is happening, I better hit a toilet within the next 3 seconds or everybody's seeing what I ate yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Jesus Christ, the fuck.
Anyway.
So.
Back to the male fantasy that is 4-armed women holding you up and punching you in the spleen.
No, back to, it's boring. It's what it is. Immersion, like, that's the issue I have with certain conversations. Is like, I want my games to be realistic. I'm like, things can be... Invincible? Maybe. Games can be realistic without being, like, real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, realistic doesn't mean it's real life. Realistic means it's believable in the context of what's happening.
Yeah.
You know? Like, characters that stay true to their character as they make choices and stuff. That would be...
Alright, Katana kind of got hands, though.
Like it represents, like, this is achievable in that world, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's realistic to the world. Like, it's not like Dragon Ball Z where, like... Well, I guess Dragon Ball Z would be realistic in the fact that Goku gets a new form because it's about breaking limits. And the whole world has that. And that's what I mean. Like, realistic is not realism. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And people conflate those things. People conflate a lot of things when it comes to the conversation and ideas. They conflate two things that are not the same.
No!
And...
my nipples!
And they just kind of assume that that's what it is.
I don't know. I guess it just wholeheartedly depends on what the fuck are you looking for in a game, why are you playing it, and how serious are you going to take it.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. The story of The Last of Us is great. I just don't want to play it. I'd rather watch it, you know? The Last of Us 2 is a lot better in that regard because they take the concept of wandering, but they give you an open world to explore for most of it. Like, on Ellie's side, you actually go around a city and you kind of explore and you do things.
Yeah.
That's a better implementation, in my opinion. Or like Resident Evil, where in Resident Evil most of the time you're constantly getting into situations where you're having to do these things. You know, you don't have like stretches of time because like if I remember correctly, there's a section of The Last of Us that is like a 45-minute sequence of them just walking and talking.
No.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
No, I think I if I can because I actually played The Last of Us 1, and this is why I feel so strongly about it. That game has large swaths of you just walking.
Yeah, I mean, I know just like walk and talk in Simulator, like for sure.
Like, but that is a big part. If I remember correctly, like it's a scene where like you're going from like a pathway into like this kind of creaky area, like this, like because there's a lot of the areas are very similar because you're wandering down, I think, a riverbed to get to a certain city, across the states.
Mills. Sorry.
Yeah, and like you're going through this building and you're like it's literally just like 40 minutes of just walking and doing general like kind of like parkouring things until you get to like a nest of clickers. And it's a very long process. Like I remember it distinctly.
That sounds disgusting, honestly.
Yeah. I'm like that's what I mean when I say time waster. Or like Red Dead Redemption 2. A lot of people love it because it's really realistic. Really like it has a lot of realism to it, you know what I mean? You know, it really feels like you're living in the 1910s.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
I hate that shit.
Not in the sense
all my homies hate the 1910s.
Not in the sense of like living in the 1910s. Like
yeah, I know
a lot of it is just cutscenes are story missions are like your characters are fucking walking for too long, you know?
Yeah.
Like they could cut up a lot of the walking with like cutscenes and then have you walk for portions of it. Like it's annoying. You know what I mean? It's intentional time wasting. Bad menu design. Oh my god, bad menu. That's something I could go over for fucking hours.
Yeah. I can feel it. I felt that one seethe. There was a certain heat. Either that or you farted, but there was a certain heat that came from you when you were like, bad menu design. I was like, uh-oh.
Bad menu design gets me so fucking heated. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has some of the worst UI I've ever fucking experienced.
Why is this?
Because it's set up like a fucking streaming service.
Continue.
It is blocks that you go up or down and right or left to pick. Mm-hmm. It's infuriating. Because it's slow. It doesn't load fast. I've got mine on my NVMe. Mm-hmm. And my NVMe is a nice ass NVMe. It's a Samsung fucking like I think 770 or something. Yeah. It's a nice ass NVMe. It fucking takes forever to transition from one screen to another. Menus constantly get stuck. I've gotten stuck exiting a game, and it takes me to a logging in screen while the loading screen for the next match is going. I can't see anything. Yeah. Like, I get control after the game's loaded. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. It infuriates me so much. Mortal Kombat! Mortal Kombat!